You have everything inside you, yet you feel empty. You get everything you want, but peace never comes. At night, when you lie in bed, your heart feels restless. During the day, surrounded by people, you still feel alone. Why is that? What's missing? And why did Emerson say that the answer was never outside, but buried deep within you? There's a silence that most people run from. It's not the silence of a quiet room. It's the silence of your own soul, trying to speak, but no one's listening. Not even you. We've been taught to chase the world, to seek achievement, validation, beauty, power, purpose, and we chase hard. From the moment we're young, we're handed a map that shows how to succeed, how to be liked, how to be important, how to be safe. But no one hands us a mirror. No one says, look. In here, no one says, before you chase, be still. Before you build a life, know the one who's living it. And so we don't. We move from one pursuit to another, thinking that maybe the next thing will fix the ache inside. A better job, a deeper relationship, a new place to live, a new version of ourselves. But every time we arrive, we find the same thing waiting for us. The silence, the restlessness, the strange hollowness that no one else sees, but we feel every moment we're alone. Why? Why does inner peace feel so far, when everything outside looks fine? Emerson believed that the world distracts us from ourselves. That society, in all its noise and pressure, steals us from the truth we were born with, not by force, but by seduction, by making us believe that peace is earned, that worth is awarded, that love is conditional. We forget who we are not because we're stupid, but because we've been taught to forget, and the forgetting runs deep. We forget what we loved as children, when no one was watching. We forget how to sit quietly with our feelings, without needing to fix or escape them. We forget how to trust our own instincts, and instead we look around to see what others are doing. We compare, we conform, we mold ourselves to be acceptable, likable, normal, but peace is never found through performance. Peace doesn't come from pleasing others. It doesn't come from ticking all the boxes of a successful life. It comes from coming home, home to the self you left behind, home to the voice you silenced, home to the truth that you buried under layers of fear, expectation, and imitation. Emerson once wrote that imitation is suicide. He didn't mean that metaphorically. He meant it in the deepest, most painful sense. When you copy the world, you kill yourself. Not your body, but your essence. And when your essence is deadened, even the most beautiful life will feel hollow. You can smile, you can post pictures, you can be admired and envied, but inside, something feels off. Not broken, but buried. Not lost, but unreachable. And so you keep searching, not realizing that the thing you're looking for isn't missing. It's waiting, waiting in the silence, waiting in the stillness, waiting beneath the noise you've used to protect yourself. It takes courage to stop, to turn inward, to sit with the parts of yourself you've neglected for years. But it is the only path to peace, because the war isn't out there, it's in here, between who you truly are and who you think you need to be, between your deepest knowing and your loudest fear. Emerson believed in the sovereignty of the soul, that every person carries within them a divine voice, knowing so pure it doesn't need justification. But we doubt that voice. We dismiss it as naive, impractical, selfish, and yet that voice is the only place peace lives. When you betray that voice, you betray your own peace. even if the world applauds you, even if everything looks good on the outside, because the soul cannot be tricked. It knows when you're living a lie. It knows when you've traded your truth for comfort, or control, or connection, and it grieves. That's what the emptiness is. The soul's quiet mourning for the life you were meant to live. Not a perfect life, not a glamorous life, but a true life. A life that reflects who you are, not who you were told to be. We've confused safety with peace. We've confused comfort with contentment. We've confused admiration with love. But the soul doesn't care about those things. The soul wants alignment. It wants congruence. It wants the outside to match the inside. It wants you to speak what you really believe, to choose what you really want, to walk in the direction of your own knowing. Even if no one claps for you, that is peace. Not the absence of chaos, but the absence of betrayal. Not the end of struggle, but the end of self-abandonment. You may still feel pain. You may still face doubt, conflict, and fear. But when you are true to yourself, even your suffering has dignity. Even your wounds feel honest. You are not confused, because life is unclear. You are confused because you have silenced the only voice that can truly guide you, and no amount of logic, strategy, or success will replace it. You could win the world and still lose your soul. Not in a religious sense, in a human one. To lose your soul is to lose your connection to your own inner compass, to become so outward-facing that you forget what inward even feels like. And that is the root of all restlessness, all emptiness, all that late-night aching you can't put into words. You haven't lost anything. You've just gone blind to it. You've covered the well with stones. And now you wonder why you're thirsty, but it's still there, underneath everything, waiting for you to stop chasing, waiting for you to come home to some perfect image, but to the imperfection that is real, to the questions you've buried, to the dreams you've postponed, to the parts of yourself you thought you had to kill to survive, are still alive, waiting for your return. And here's the truth. You don't need to become anything to feel peace. You only need to stop becoming what you are not. Stop building a life that looks good but feels wrong. Stop shaping yourself around what others expect. Stop apologizing for the fire inside you. That fire is not a flaw, it's a compass. It points to your truth. It burns away your illusions. But fire is dangerous. It destroys comfort. It melts masks. It exposes everything. And that's why peace is scary. Because real peace doesn't come from hiding. It comes from being fully seen by yourself. You are not broken. You are buried. And the digging is hard. You'll cry. You'll rage. You'll grieve who you thought you were supposed to be. But then, beneath the rubble, you'll hear it, the quiet, steady voice of the self you abandoned, not judging, not blaming, just waiting. That voice has always been there, through every heartbreak, every mistake, every performance. It whispered when you were young, "This isn't who I am." It cried when you stayed in places that didn't love you. It screamed in silence when you smiled through pain. And now it's calling you back, not to escape the world, but to return to it whole. The world doesn't need another successful mask. It needs you fully alive, grounded in your soul, rooted in your truth. Because once you live from your truth, peace is no longer a distant reward. It is your natural state, not perfect, not without pain, but whole. Emerson said, "Trust thyself. Every heart vibrates to that iron string. That string is still vibrating in you. That note is still playing, even if you've drowned it out. You don't need to fix yourself. You need to find yourself. And finding yourself isn't a one-time event. It's a daily act of courage, a daily return to presence, a daily willingness to listen to what's quiet but true. It means saying no when everyone wants you to say yes. It means slowing down when the world speeds up. It means sitting with your fear until it teaches you what it's protecting. Peace isn't out there. It never was. It's in the breath you ignore, the longing you suppress, the silence you run from. But the truth is that silence is not empty. It's full of everything you've been missing, not because it will give you answers, but because it gives you back to yourself. You want peace? Stop reaching. Stop running. Stop becoming. Sit. Listen. Let the fire speak. Let the ache rise. Let the voice return. That is Emerson's hidden truth. You were never meant to live by permission. You were never meant to shape yourself to fit. You were meant to burn with the power of your own soul. And when you return to that, fire peace will not need to be found. It will find you.